Sharded it.
And there's the show. Completely fine.
We just lost Mark. Not the only thing to take a shit here recently.
He's like, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. Anyway, guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast. You guys all know the cast here. If anybody watched the video today, they probably had a good time with it. By the way, happy birthday, Annie. 29 again.
Happy birthday.
Woo!
Awesome. I remember those days. It was just like it was, a lot of years ago. Anyway, I'm a little bit of toasted tonight. How's everybody doing? How was hey, here's the BBC's coming back in. That's funny. You see how I said that? Here comes the BBC's coming back in. It's hilarious.
Working on the next outtakes video.
Apparently. What's going to be outtakes? This is actually going to be part of the video, the next video. So, but man, has everybody had a great week or what? Hey, what did you have to go to the bathroom, Mark? What happened?
No, I'd be being an asshole and kick myself out. That's what I get.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
I'm
Anybody
honest.
do anything fun and exciting over the last couple of days?
Been stressed the fuck out.
Well, like I said, it's been a good year, and you guys all know for my birthday and for Thanksgiving we did some barbecue dinners, and I have to keep the person's name to myself, confidential, if you will. But I had a gentleman who actually purchased another 30 barbecue dinners to be given out for Christmas.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, 30. I was like,
Awesome.
Okay.
So
it's like, yeah.
Do you
Happy
need
birthday
more?
to me, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jody, whatever is to be had, it will be greatly appreciated. I know myself, I'm doing at least 20. So at this point, we're up to at least 50 right now.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you if you need any more.
Yes.
Okay, that's all you had. See how hard that was?
Yes.
All right. So let's kind of talk about our topic tonight. So Chuck, the Godfather, who's not here, had a question. It was a very good question, and it was about, do we think, because it's almost become like almost like a career change for a lot of people, where they're waiting for bourbon, it's on the secondary. I see people buy bourbon one moment and sell it within hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude, that is the craziest thing. So it's became like a job, which has changed a lot of I really think it's making the relationships with some of your stores and stuff very, very important. Because last week when I got the bottles of Stag Junior, Gary called me. Now, could I got Stag Junior right away? Of course, I can go right in secondary and buy it right this second. But I'm going to pay well over retail for it. I'm going to pay secondary pricing. But having those relationships helps out. But I have noticed, when I was in there, he had plenty of Blantons. But he's doing a lot of bundle deals. And you got people doing these camping out, standing in line for endless hours for an opportunity to get something, this, that, and whatever. Do you guys see that there might be a change maybe in the way store owners, definitely in non-state controlled markets, might be behaving? Do you think it's going to be good for the bourbon community? And how does it make you guys feel? I'm just curious.
Well, let me jump in real quick and let me say, because you mentioned about Stags Junior. Here in Miami, Stags Junior, at one point I was able to get my hands on it for less than $80. Now, if you want Stags Junior, it's up to $325. So,
Mark, what the hell is going on?
It is becoming one of those things. And as far as forming relationships with store owners, I think it's an absolute thing to do. I think if you want to get your hands on some quality stuff, you're going to have to do that. The store that I do business with doesn't do bundles, but now we're in the talks about doing some things where I'm going to be sponsored. I'm going to be giving some bottles and things like that. And I can tell you, as far as waiting in line, it's not anything that I would do, especially now, because I get phone calls, I get gifted bottles and things like that. So, I mean, listen, if somebody can do it, I guess if stockbrokers could do it, I guess we're going to be doing bourbon brokers now, so we shall see. I think it's an interesting concept, but I think it's going to be hard because the availability is going to be the issue.
Man, you brought up a really interesting aspect. And that is that certain bourbons seem to really skyrocket in the secondary more so than other ones of equal or even in some cases greater value. Boom. That's what I want to see. But anyway, I'm watching hockey too. So, I guess my example would be there is like, well, I think Annie, you're having some of it tonight. Will it 7 year? 8 year. I'm sorry. But in the secondary, I think I've seen as high as $1,100 here.
Yep.
So it's pretty freaking high for I think it's only $119 for the bottle to buy it at retail. If I'm correct, it's somewhere around that price point.
Yeah.
And but then you take, like, for example, I would say Caribou Crossing, but hell, it's doing that now too.
It really is.
It really is. It's crazy. Like, I seen some guy the other day on secondary selling Caribou Crossing for $300. I was like, what? Gross. But I've noticed that some people are taking, well, Smoke Wagon's a perfect example. If it's one of the rare bottles as a Smoke Wagon, I can probably see maybe it shooting up. Now, it's still MGP, and they're shooting up. Some of those bottles are going for over $1,000 as well.
Yep.
But my point being is it because of the novelty? Is it because it's just, it's kind of like Billy was talking about with the stock market. Are these the hot topics right now? Because there's definitely potentially better bourbons out there than either one of those.
Yeah.
But both of those are really good bourbons as well. I mean, I would agree with that on the same aspect, or rye, I should say, bourbon and a rye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm curious what other people might think.
I would say it's bourbon capitalism at its worst. People
in
going nuts.
non-state controlled.
Yeah. Which is, unfortunately, it's totally illegal, but we won't talk about that right now. Here's a funny one. So I just left Denver over the weekend, and I was there for Stranahan's Snowflake. Some know, half you guys probably have never even heard of Snowflake.
I thought it was a derogatory term used for people on the left. That's what I thought.
I mean, it's that too.
Okay. Sorry.
That it is. But
let's go, Brandon. Go back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So before the event was over, I went to, and I won't say which one of the large secondary groups on Facebook. There were 2 bottles signed and 2 posters, and they were up for $800. Wow. The event wasn't even over.
Well, that was like the Four Roses 20 year that just came out.
Yes.
If you noticed that today,
I saw
that's
my
been dropping. Has it been
back
$1,700?
Yeah.
People were selling it as soon as they got it. They were posting pictures of the bottle in the parking lot and then putting it on secondary. Like, they didn't even get home. They're like, got this 20-year bottle. Boop, blip.
Yeah, I seen that today. I was like, did I miss something? Did I not get the newsletter? Like, what happened here?
Yep.
And it was just as quick as you just said too. And I think it was people like normal crotch shots. They're like, I've got this computer desk in my car now. I'll just put it over here on this, and we're gonna. And you can see them passing traffic and stuff. I'm gonna take a picture real quick and put it on the market. And I seen it earlier today. I think it was $1,700, $1,600. I was like, I had to go and read about it. I was like, so what did I miss? Like, I didn't even know this happened,
Yeah.
Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not, except for certain different batches. Four Roses, not one of my favorite bourbons out there, or even one of my favorite distillates. So I don't know that I would have paid much attention anyhow, but man, it is crazy. And of course, anytime Belle Meade does something, before these people can get home, they're going crazy. And when I was at the distillery, they were telling me that people, when you used to go in for tastings, you would get a coin to purchase one of the bottles. And people, by the time they walked outside, was selling it. From the time they walked outside of the tasting room to the cash register, had already changed it out. It had already changed hands for a significant amount of money for people to purchase them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jody, I'll give you my point on that. I'm all for capitalism. It just makes this country what it is.
Mhm.
This is what kind of, I guess, befuzzles me. That there are people that are buying it. That's the strange part. They're lined up to get it. They're selling it. That's the part that makes it difficult to understand. I'll tell you what, from my point of view, why. There are so many small distilleries popping up everywhere.
Mhm.
And obviously they are buying their barrels from your big
MGP.
distributors.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're actually they're actually doing a lot of blends, and
Mhm.
literally on the what gets me is on the market, there is so much good bourbon to pay 5 times retail for a bourbon just don't register with me. And
Now-
but you know something, and we say that if there were 10 people lined up to buy a special bottle we had, and they tell you they would give you $500 for it, obviously you're going to let them hold it. So it's capitalism.
It is, but that's also true and not true. Like up until well, a funny story I seen on the secondary, one of the guys got arrested recently. And
Really?
So, yeah, he got arrested because he sold to an undercover ABC agent or something like that. And he met this person, met him through freaking Craigslist. I'm like, what kind of, you don't pick up whores, pimps, prostitutes, or bourbon on Craigslist. Yeah, you just don't do any of that. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't even buy anything off of Craigslist. You know, like nobody does that. Like, even if you were to buy something like,
I didn't even know Craigslist still existed.
Yeah, with the number of people that have been robbed and killed, why would you? With the number of people who've been robbed and killed over the years, why would you anyway?
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, I thought it was kind of a funny story when I seen it. I was like, wow, dude, like this is your card. Like you're an idiot. Like you're just an idiot at that point. Like if you can't, you need to start checking them out. Like, I don't know, but I do think it's going to make it a bigger issue with, you know, like with the federal government that may be involved. I personally don't see a problem with secondary selling. I really don't. I think it's kind of stupid that they would even try to enforce it. I know it's a taxation thing. It definitely, if you're not selling it to someone underage, I don't know why anybody even gives a crap. You know, I really don't. I think it's quite stupid. And I'd say that to them. I mean, it seems like, you know, it's not like a Jesse Smollett type of thing where you make up something. It's like a real issue. You see what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
I was trying to find a way to work that in all night.
That story got worse every day.
Dude, he was found guilty of 5 of the 6
just like
charges.
Jesse, let's give Jody a hand for that one, eh?
Hold on a second. I can do it myself. Hold on. Let me get my noose out and tie myself up.
Oh Christ.
And then I'll call up people.
This is our last show, guys. It was really great being on.
Listen, he like Jack Frost had a lot of outs and didn't take it.
It kept going with it. Just kept going with it.
Stopped at any time.
So at any point, if you're that deep, I mean, I guess that you could relate this to anything, but if you're that deep, isn't there a point where you just go, maybe it's not so far back, but maybe it is. I don't know. Are you just like half full, half empty, you know, type of thing? Is that where you're at? Like
you're being logical.
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to think about it more.
You're being logical and there's money involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but you know what, getting back to what we was talking about, what I do see that may become a problem, it's something where I think a certain segment of the bourbon group or the bourbon world will be essentially shut out because they don't have the money to play in that area. So even if you like a decent bottle that's affordable for just about anybody, but if the powers that be, so to speak, determine that, you know, Michter's all of a sudden is one of those bottles that everybody wants or got to have.
Well, so it is in some cases. Like if it's the toasted barrel, it's
exactly,
it's over $300.
But what's to stop somebody or some group from taking a bottle of Bullet and all of a sudden making it a thing? where everybody's got to have bullet now when you can get bullet at like Walgreens.
Well, they put a sticker on it. You could
That's
do
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those freaking stickers, man. Everybody wants those. It's like people collecting garbage pail kids. I don't understand it. Or Pokemon. It's a sticker, for God's sakes. I can buy you a whole collection of stickers. Just give me the damn bottle.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's more a supply and demand thing. It's not.
Well, that's the logical aspect of it. You're right.
You know,
It is supply and demand.
You know, I think part of it is distilleries are picking up on that. Like what didn't, okay, so let's talk about single barrel select this year for people picking barrels, right? I don't know this to be fact, but we had somebody in our group that was number 29, right? So you think you'd get something good, like, cool, make it a Blanton's, make it a Weller Full Proof. We got a Buffalo Trace pick. And whoever was number 10 got a Buffalo Trace pick. All they really had was Buffalo Trace and 1792 Full Proof. I haven't heard of anybody getting a Weller Full Proof. I didn't hear about anybody getting an OWA pick out of that whole thing. I was in line, like, you know, you log in and then you get like a number in line. I was like number 16,000. There were like 40,000 people waiting to get into this barrel picking program. And then number 9 got a Buffalo Trace. Like, the distilleries are like, oh yeah, okay. We can see that if we hold back, the value is going to skyrocket. And people are going to pay more. And
Well, the demand's going to stay constant. So yeah.
Well, and the hype is just going to grow and grow and grow. Because obviously, like, even in the last 2 years, this whole bourbon thing has just skyrocketed.
2 years ago, you could get Blanton's every day for $52 or less.
Right.
And I think what will happen, it will extend the life of the bourbon craze, you know, because now it's a whole nother aspect to it where people try to make this a way of living. And, you know, listen, now you got the stores involved, and then you start getting other people who have stuff and all of a sudden need money, and now they're involved. So it kind of creates this cycle, you know? I mean, and it's just like anything else. Anybody would want some stock from Amazon, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, but you can't get your hands on it until somebody needs to sell some of it. Then you can get
you get stock on all that. It's just what you want is you want the you want to get the stock before it's split.
Yeah.
So you want to get the the early people stock.
Yep.
Before it's split and then split again. And so
you
on
want
and
to
so
get
on.
in on it.
Which is what you want to get. You can buy stock right this second on Amazon, but it's going to take a long time to mature and materialize into anything significant because there's not any risk involved.
Yeah.
You know,
and I guess this is one of those things where if this is the case, is it going to be a moment where the market pops like everything else, or it crashes? And then, you know, all of a sudden you got 40 bottles of E.H. Taylor sitting in your garage and it's worthless. You know, is that a possibility?
I don't foresee that happening.
That's Jack Frost's garage.
Yeah.
Well, I would say this: the economy would dictate the longevity of it.
Yes, that's true.
Because you can say what you will, but the economy usually curves a lot of things and brings them back into check.
Yep. Yeah, if we keep having inflation like we're having, I would care to bet that probably, even though we don't, because we're all in the communities, we don't see it as much, but I'm willing to bet that probably bourbon sales, or probably alcohol sales in general, probably not by much, but are down some this year already. And I'm willing to bet that by the end of next year, since they're talking about inflation is probably going to carry through 2022, it's going to be down significantly next year. Yeah. Now, I'm not talking about what we see, because we're always in everybody. I mean, like, you pull up any of our feeds, I'm willing to bet that between me, it's dogs, bourbon, more dogs, USC, the Predators, dogs, and then bourbon. And that's all you're going to see on my feed, and a few friends. All right. That's because that's what we see all the time. Yeah. And then, of course, our liquor store guys are going to keep calling us, and we'll probably see probably second, well, I'd say probably like third quarter of next year. I'm on the bet we all get more and more calls from our liquor guys, because one of the things I found fascinating, because I've heard them talk about it, is that there's something going on with, they have to spend so much to get so many of the allocated.
Yeah.
They have to sell so much.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they have to show so much profit. And that's the reason why in these non-state run areas, I think they're raising the prices.
Well, that's where the bundles come in.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. That's where the bundles come in as well. But I think that's the reason why they're doing that. They have to show so many bottles go on and so much revenue.
Yeah. Buying all that damn what's the cinnamon? What's the cinnamon?
Fireball.
Yes, Fireball. Like
Ugh.
who the hell got contracts with Fireball? Like, what were you thinking?
Well, but listen, if you
The
think about
distributor
it,
though.
Yeah.
if you really
Go on,
think
no,
about
no.
it, anything that you can get in a bundle, people feel like it's a value, probably when it really isn't. Because let's
Well,
face it,
definitely
most,
not.
Not
most,
these-
most,
yeah.
mo- most bundles are shit. And if it's a bundle of 4, you really only want one item in that bundle. You know,
Blends.
you know.
Blends.
So if you get the blends and you got Fireball, you'll just give the Fireball away, or you'll use it for something, whatever. So you don't even care, but you just figure I'm getting a blend, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're
I've seen
all
it recently
guilty of
with Eagle Rare in the bundle as well. I mean, my liquor store guy was like, I'm like, you got an Eagle Rare? And he goes, yeah, you have to buy the bundle. I'm like, no, that's not how we work. I've been shopping there a long time. You're gonna sell me the Eagle Rare, and I'm gonna buy some of this other stuff too.
Yeah.
One of the things I might find to be fascinating is how the artisan type distilleries because like when I was down at Bluegrass, they're artisan type of distillery, and they're already outselling their size, and they're moving to Midland, Kentucky, which is in the same. It's in Woodford County.
Okay.
And they have a new distillery that's going up there with 26 distillers. Distillate.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
For some reason I'm having a brain fart what those things are called, but you guys, the copper things.
Still.
Are we back? Are we back on
Stills.
farts? Are we back on farts again?
No. And we're not talking about that ever again. I'm gonna put an embarrassing moment for me in there as well. So
I don't know, but I guess it will be interesting to see what happens. But again, like you were saying, Jody, all the non-state run states, I think that's where the party's gonna really happen. Like, so here in Florida, it's a free for all.
Yeah, it's totally here too, man.
It really is. I mean, I think cigarettes are more controlled than alcohol is here in Florida.
I know it is here when it comes to that type of stuff. Hey, that was our conversation tonight. I think we brought some interesting ideas. Yeah. And as any of you guys might have seen the video today, now we're going to move to the fun. So peace out, guys. Everybody have fun.
Later, guys.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony! Fuck you, Tony!